Now, we ask you to stay open with us here. Stay in the now. Stay very present in your being, but understand that we will bring in the energies fully of your gathering several thousands of years ago into this room. I also pull in the energies of your churches of today, which are derivatives of the work that so many of you have done in past lives. We'll bring in those energies. We'll bring in the energies of what we call the new earth in now. Breathe in deeply, dear friends, and allow us to integrate all of these elements together in this very interesting dimension that you are allowing to be created all around you. Today we are going to gently, very gently, open the 7 seals. But we want you to understand that you are doing it only for yourself. You are not doing it for all of humanity. You cannot do it for them. You are not doing it for the ones that sit next to you. You are not doing it for your children or your parents. You are gently opening these 7 seals for yourself. But you see, as you open, as you change your vibration, you affect the potential of everything around you. Remember, as we have talked before, when you change your vibration, you send out a neutral potential energy that can then be picked up and used by any other human, any other type of life form that so chooses. You do not inflict your will on them. There are many humans, the vast majority of humans today, who do not choose to open the seals. Understand and honor that. If you are here today, energetically or physically, you do not have to open these. Understand as you gently open these. Yes, indeed, someone just asked. Many of you have been going through the process already, essentially helping to dissolve some of the coatings that have been on these. But now in this group energy, it is safe to gently open them more and more. These were 7 attributes that have been created based on your journey from home, through the wall of fire, through the order of the ark, and through all of your experiences on earth. They are attributes, energies that have been deeply embedded within you, by you. They are conditions that are ready for change. They are old paradigms and old dynamics, old patterns that are now ready for change. These were not things that were inflicted on you by spirit, inflicted on you by the darkness. Simply conditions, modules of your journey. The darkness is here today because it has taken part in that journey, that part of you. It is here to show you exactly what it is and what it isn't. To show you that it was simply an attribute of the old that does not need to exist anymore in the way that you had created it. In the first seal, dear friends, is the energy of separation. This energy is deeply embedded within you, and it has been ever since you left home and crossed through the wall of fire. You've sealed it within you, lived it and believed it and accepted that you were separate from Spirit. When you went through the wall of fire and felt yourself shattered into a billion pieces, this created a sense of separation. A sense of separation that stayed with you. The longing to go home. The longing for Mother, Father, God, but not being able to find that energy. The longing to be back in the arms of your dear, dear King and Queen, of the oneness from whence you came. But separation was an illusion. It had to be there. It had to be sealed inside so you could go off on your own journey. It served you well. The churches of modern days have intensified and magnified the energy of separation. They've embedded it even more deeply within you. They have talked about how you were thrown from the heavens, how you were banned from the gardens. And dear friends, that was the old energy, and it has no place in the new. You are not separate. And in reality, you never were. So with the love in your heart and the tears in your eyes, dear friends, allow yourself to open the first seal. The seal of separation now. As it opens, it brings back the energy of Spirit and home. It brings back the love of God. It brings it into the reality, into the now that you sit in. And let no man, woman, or church ever again tell you that you are separate from God. Ever. And then the second seal. The seal that was identified thousands of years ago. The energy of that seal is self. Self. You see, when you cross through the wall of fire, when you experience separation, you also began to experience self for the first time. You realized you had your own identity and your own spiritual fingerprint. There was the realization of self, but this also created self-doubt. Who am I? Who am I? Why am I here? Why am I no longer at home? Why am I in a void? Within self and self-doubt also gave you the energy for self-discovery. And you have been on a journey for eons of time, discovering who you are, who you aren't. The churches tell you that self is bad or wrong. Understand and remember that you helped to create some of the doctrine and the dogma of the churches. But we are saying it is time to transform that energy, to transmute it into the new. I tell you, the self will be annihilated. I tell you to let go, to let some unknown God take over. And that one day you will lose all remembrance of who you ever were, because you will be back in the blissful heavens of God, in a big mush of oneness. Dear friends, in the new energy, there is self. There is self-realization, self-understanding. You will remember your journey that brought you here. You will remember who you are. Self should not be denied. Self should not be annihilated. Every night, all over your world, we work with humans who are trying to kill themselves. Physically, emotionally. They're trying to kill memories of what they have done, where they have been. Every night we weep because self is a precious gift to Spirit. Your gift. Your gift. So, dear friends, with the love in your heart and the tears in your eyes, open the second seal to see the beauty of self. Dear friends, there's a third seal, and yes, for the one who asked, these do relate to the energies of the chakras. They do relate to the energy of the words in the scriptures, if you would study for a bit. Behind the third seal is the energy of Satan, and it is within you, deeply embedded within you. The energy of Satan is nothing more than duality, light and dark. It has been given its own power, and you know now power is an illusion. It has been given its own power and its own identity and its own place and juxtaposition with God, with Spirit. Yes, indeed, the churches of today teach you that you have to choose God or Satan. They are essentially the same. They are essentially the same, all part of the same. But it has been embedded within you this sense of duality, that there is a split and a division. There is a fear that has motivated you, has also sickened you, weakened you, killed you. A fear of falling into the hands of Satan. You've raced for the light, or tried to find refuge in the light. But Satan always seems to find you, and you wonder where God is. And where God isn't there to bail you out. Why Satan is always pulling at your coat sleeves. Dear friends, energy of Satan as you know it today is an illusion. There is no Satan, as the churches would have it. There is no choice between heaven and hell, light and dark. There was only duality. You've also come to believe there is a Satan within you, a part of you that is so bad and so evil, that should not be given the love from your heart, and that should not be given a life to exist, and you have cut off part of yourself. So, dear friends, with the love in your heart and the tears in your eyes, open the third seal of Satan to reveal that it was an illusion of duality. That energy is just energy until you place a label on it. It is just energy of Spirit. Feel the dark forces who are in each corner of the room. Understand the game that they have played because you've asked them to. Let no man, woman, or church ever tell you that Satan will get you. Let no man, woman, or church ever tell you there is a power opposite of Spirit. It is just energy. It is within you. You are the creator. Gently allow the seal to open. Dear friends, and the fourth seal is the energy of sin, the energy of guilt that you have carried with you for so very long. It is deeply embedded within you and is part of the human spiritual condition. Sin and guilt, the same thing. The guilt that you still carry about leaving home in the first place. The guilt that you carry for trying to annihilate or consume other angels in the times long past, times out in the creation of the stars and the galaxies, long before you ever took on physical form. The guilt that you have because you've been told that you do things that are less than worthy of the love of God. You have carried the energy of sin and guilt within you. It has been part of your human spiritual condition. As you open this up, you will realize that there was never a reason to feel guilty, that there was no such thing as sin. There was only experience. So, dear friends, with the love in your heart and tears from your eyes, allow the fourth seal to open. Release yourself from the burdens of sin and that guilt that you have carried around for so very long. In the new energy, there is no such thing as sin. There is nothing to be guilty of. Let no man, woman, or church ever tell you you have done wrong in the eyes of God. It is all about experience. In the new energy, you carry a balance with you where you will not be compelled to do things that are against the will or the love of another man or woman or of earth or any living object, because you have a greater understanding of their journey. You have a great compassion for them. Such a compassion that you can watch them do heinous things to themselves and still love them. Release the sin and guilt, and as teachers of the new energy, help others to move through this very difficult hurdle, this very difficult chakra. Dear friends, behind the fifth seal is one we want you to pay particular attention to on this day and henceforth every day that comes. As you built these human spiritual conditions, sealed them within your consciousness and your belief system, you created an interesting one called suffering. Suffering. You have felt that the way back home, the way to atone for what you perceived as the wrong path was through suffering. This is a more contemporary of the seals. You have given yourself suffering. Suffering physically, suffering financially, suffering in relationships, suffering for the sake of others. Dear Shambhar, you are experts at suffering for others. By doing so, this denies them of their own suffering. And it also expresses a lack of compassion for them. You've taken on your own suffering, the suffering of the worlds, the suffering of lifetimes past, the sufferings of universes that have never been created. You've taken on the sufferings of entities and angels that you used to be. You've embedded that deep within you, and it's causing problems in your hearts. It's causing problems in your life. You got so low in your journey that you thought the only way to get back was to suffer, suffer, suffer. When you're ready to open that seal of suffering, you will find that the energy transforms to one of joy and creation. Dear Shambhala, some of you may have a difficult time opening this seal, for you still think there is suffering you must go through. You still think that life must be difficult. You have convinced yourself of this so deeply that you give yourself only the bare minimum, enough to barely get by. You get back to our side and you say, damn, life is difficult. From now on, when we hear that from you, we will say, damn, why are you choosing that? So, dear friends, with a love in your heart and a tear in your eye and the laughter of your voice, open the fifth seal and allow this elements of suffering to be released from your consciousness. Allow all the suffering you have ever gone through and the suffering that you experience right now to leave. Let no man, woman, or church ever, ever, ever tell you you must suffer again. Joy is the way of the new energy. Fulfillment is the way of the new energy. Be proud of who you are, what you are, and what you do. Express it in love, like what you heard last night. Dear Shambhala, release the suffering from the fifth seal, so that you may experience the blessings of being an angel and walking on earth. Behind the sixth seal was an interesting element. An element that has so much energy behind it today. Energies that are literally trying to attack you. Energies that were present in our meeting last month and come in again, particularly on this day. Behind the sixth seal is salvation. Salvation. You see, in your journey along the way, you knew someday there would be salvation. There would be release. It's not the UFOs that come down to pick you up. It's not a guru. It's not another human. It's not even Jesus, Yeshua. Salvation is you. Salvation is the release of all the illusions. The opening of the seven seals is the salvation. Acceptance in your heart of 4 simple words. I am God also. That is salvation. Your churches today, they're telling everyone there is salvation through Jesus Christ. His only Son. And I, Tobias, will make a bold statement here. That is a lie. There is not one chosen Son. There are angels from home, and millions and billions of them. And I'm sitting here talking to 238 of them right now. Plus all of you who gather online. I'm addressing all of you. Let no church tell you that you have to follow the path of any other, including Yeshua. Indeed, he set an example, but he did not want others to follow after him. You know, he made some mistakes. He suffered more than he should have. So, dear friends, with the love in your heart and the tears in your eyes, open the sixth seal of salvation. Transmute the old energy of salvation from one who comes to whisk you off if you happen to be judged appropriately. Release that from within you and understand that you are your salvation, no one else's, simply yourselves. Salvation was always there. It was the acceptance of yourself and your journey. Understand that Yeshua loves you. Yeshua has walked with you. Yeshua did not need to save you from anything. You never needed to be saved. You only needed to be reminded. Finally, the seventh seal. The seventh seal is again the seal of the energy of self, just like seal number 2. But in the seventh seal, it is the unfolding of the self, I am, rather than the self, who am I? The seventh seal is the butterfly leaving the cocoon. The seventh seal has always been there, always carried the potential of opening, of the understanding of I am, and the I am doesn't need to question who it is, doesn't need to question what's going on around. It has a knowingness and an understanding at a profound new level. The self behind the seventh seal understands things through the divine heart, not through the human intelligence. Behind the seventh seal is the potential of the new energy and the new earth. So, with all the blessings from us, from Michael, from Metatron and Mary, from Hosaf, from Saint Germain, yes, indeed, for the one who asked, indeed, Cryon also, and the dark ones who stand in the corners, open the seventh seal to allow yourself to be the I am. And dear friends, in the new energy, let no man, woman, or church ever tell you that you are anything less than God. Begin to live each moment, each breath, and each day as God. Open up that divine heart of yours. Release the burden that you've placed on your mind. These seals will continue to open gently, gently. You have the guidance of the angels around you to assist in this, and you have your own divine self. You see, a baby is not conceived and birthed in one day. It takes months, 9 months. The unfolding, the opening of your seals will come gently and slowly. We ask each of you every day to breathe in first thing in the morning and acknowledge that you are God also. Throughout the day, when you hear that mind chatter, Lyle, that is simply self-doubt, remind yourself, I am God also. That's all you need to know. There's nothing that can ever take anything away from you, unless you want to play the game with it. Lyle, it is I am God also. You are worthy of it, all of you. You are worthy of it. Now accept it into your hearts. There's new times coming. You all have challenges. You all have work to do. But it won't be like before. It will not be like before. See, some of you work and work and work so hard. Even the energy of work will change. It'll be more playful. It will be an adventure. It won't have to be such a struggle. It won't have to be suffering. There will be a lot for you to do, Shambra, in these new energy days ahead. You heard some of it here. You were given offers. You were shown opportunities and potentials here. You were shown how to overcome obstacles and hurdles and barriers here. If you accept the challenge, if you accept the new energy, if you allow yourself to open the seals within that have been shut closed for so very long, you'll find such a different way. It will come to you. It will come to you. You will find you will not have to work so hard. Yes, you will fill the days with activities more than ever before, but it won't be drudgery work like it has been in the past. It will be the joy of life. Can you handle that, Shambra? 20 months ago, sitting in this very room, there was a channel that was given on a Sunday morning. This channel was a reflection of the words that were written some 2,000 years ago by all of you right here, all of you who gathered on the mountain, Mount Zion. The essence of your conference, your gathering from the mystics and priests from around the world was simple. The essence were words that could not be spoken or written. Bit of emotion here. Words that could not be spoken or written back then and can barely be spoken or written even now in this year of 2003. You would have been killed back then. Now you will just be beat up a bit. 20 months ago, we channeled 4 simple words. You are God also. Simple words. They are the 4 most dynamic words of the new energy. And we challenged you, and we challenged Cauldre to write the Bible of the new energy. And we meant it, literally. We have been putting pressure on the energy of Shambhala to create this thing. We have been tapping Cauldre on the shoulder more times than his thick skin would accept to do this. Indeed, we understand the concerns. Indeed, we understand that these salvation forces of the old energy do not like this one bit. They do not want to see this. They do not want the words. You see, because they still have 7 seals closed within them. They still hang on to old beliefs and old ways. They are afraid of the new energy, of the new church, of the new way. But dear friends, we know you, Shambhala, are strong. We know you are ready. You're ready for this. So we ask you to accept this gift that you have created, this gift of the 4 words. You are God also. These have been written into the New Energy Bible. Cauldre will tell you a funny story when we're done here of how this came to be. And it had to be ready for this conference. And it barely was. And it had to be in this room. And it had to be with the united energies of the gathering of 238 of you that occurred several thousands of years ago. And in this New Energy Bible, there are only 4 words. You are God also. It is that simple. It is that simple. And as was channeled 20 months ago, there were to be 100 plus 100 and more pages. In this New Energy Bible that you will see today, there are 238 pages, one representing each who is in the room. And the cover represents all of Shambhala, all over the world. The New Energy Bible, dear friends, has blank pages, because no man, woman, or church should ever tell you how to live. You are God also. Each one of you here, each one of you from 2,000 plus years ago is represented by a page in the book. You helped to create this. This is a significant day for us and for you. This is a day where forces from the outside have not looked forward to. They started their energetic attacks months ago. Yes, some of you could feel this. They intensified it during our last gathering. They almost made a nimble-witted Cauldre forget to do the book. But it was delivered just in time. We're joking with you, Cauldre, of course. So, dear friends, such is the energy of Shroud 12 of the Divine Human Series. 7 seals, the energies that were embedded deep within you, can now be opened and released. Yes, if you care to study the scriptures, the energy of the chakra systems, you will see how this all relates. If you care to study the scriptures to understand more about revelations, understand that some 2,000 years ago when we met on Mount Zion, we did connect with the interdimensional energies. Look for the interpretations when they talk about the demons and the horses and all of the other symbols that are in the book, the warriors and all of these other things. Look back again on the book and you will understand indeed. We will continue with the energy of this new energy gathering with you for the next day or so. But the energy of this moment, of the acceptance of you, our God also, and the opening of the 7 seals will stay with you also. We love you dearly. You are never alone. And so it is.